Hey guys, Popo here, bringing guys round 3 winners from the Monotype tournament. I'm hosting that Monotype tournament over on my Discord. If you want to join future tournaments, just follow the link down below to my Discord and join up. We're going to be doing a vote on the next tournament, so feel free to be part of that. We're hoping to get around 16 people, so that way it can be more of an even. If we get more, fantastic. But I would like to get up to that 16 point at least. So make sure you do follow that link down below. But anyway, so Doxy is using Mono Electric and has probably the scariest team of the whole tournament. Of course, I did help him build it as well. so that gives me a little bit of an advantage because I know what the team does. But Coco is a big issue for our team. And as you can see, he does have the Coco. He has Electrovire. He has Rotom Wash. He has the Thundurus, the Zapdos, and the Regieleki, all pretty scary threats if you were to ask me, where my team doesn't really have too much to deal with any of that because we went real hard mono dark. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting battle. These are post-com, so this match has already happened. But yeah, I think my one way out of this is to go Sableye Bisharp. With Sableye, I can quash his Coco, and then I can max the Bisharp and go for the max Steel Spike, which will not only give me a bonus against his Electrovire, but also will kill the Coco. So that's what we want to go with. Though if he does lead the Regieleki plus the Zapdos, which there's a really good chance here because that is also really good against my team, we just straight out lose. The Rotom Wash is not the biggest deal against us because it is more bulky and it won't do super ton of damage, and we can beat it late game with like Urshifu and Incineroar can even do some damage to it. So with Snarls. But yeah, I'm just very worried about the the Coco plus the Electrovire lead because of course, with the Coco you can actually go Discharge, which then gives a speed boost to the Electrovire, right? So it just makes the Electrovire very fast, very quickly. Makes you be able to go a little bit more bulk. I know his EV spreads. I'm not going to give him away, obviously, but I know that his Electrovire can survive a hit or two and do some work. Same with the Rotom. The Rotom is actually a set I used on my first ever VGC team about 6 years ago that he's using on that, which is pretty crazy that that set has that longevity, you know what I mean? It's really cool that that still works because he actually used that to beat Anthony a couple of weeks ago. All right, so here we go. So I'm expecting either the Zapdos plus the Regieleki, but he does actually go the Electrovire Coco, which I'm like, okay. So what we need to do here is we need to quash this Coco right now and hit it with this max Steel Spike, because if we do not, we pretty much have lost this. So that's going to be the goal going forward, because if he can get off one of these discharges and be able to set up with that Electrovire, we are done. So, yeah, we're going to go for the early max, which I don't really like doing with this team, but sometimes the situation calls for it. And Bisharp is our only out to any Fairy-type Pokemon. And Coco is resistant to almost every attack we have on the team. Here I'm expecting just the basic, okay, I'm going to max and I'm going to go for the discharge because he can't stop it. Because technically I can't stop it. The Electrovire does have a fighting attack, so I figure he might go for that. Or he's just going to go max Lightning into the Sableye. But he actually does switch out and he goes into the Rotom. And I'm like, yeah, I literally sent them GG. And he's like, bro, I didn't lose yet. And I was like, no, me. I was like, I lost. Because that was a really good switch by him, right? I don't know if we're faster than Electrovire at this point, because I can't remember the exact EV spread. So I'm just guessing that we probably are, because we are Jolly 252. I don't mind giving out my spreads. I don't really care. But we are Jolly 252, so I figure we might be faster. And getting the Steel Spike off will help us survive whatever attack he comes. But if he does use the fighting attack into that slot, I know the Bisharp is not going to like it. He doesn't have a lot of HP, Bisharp. And he's not very bulky. So we go for the Quash, which is going to fail because we do use on to the Rotom. but he is faster. He does get off the max knuckle, obviously not going into the Sableye. Bisharp lives with 34 HP, not the best in the world, but he's going to get an attack boost off onto this Electrifier, which is horrifying. And we are going to get the max steel spike off. That is going to help our Sableye survive a hit from this Electrifier for sure. Our next play here is we have to do something to deal with this Electrifier, because this Electrifier is very, very scary. So our play here is to definitely Will-O-Wisp it and just go for the max guard. This is going to allow us to stop whatever attack he's going to do into that, because chances are he's going to use an attack into that slot. So if we can just mitigate any of that damage and allow Sableye to get the burn off, which he has Prankster, so he's going to do the burn right away. And he does hit, which is good. So the Electrifier is +1 attack, but there's also burn. So Max Lightning is going to come out into the Sableye, but because of that defense boost, we are going to live that. We're pretty much going to use that to negate the electric terrain. Thunderbolt comes out into the Bisharp. I don't know if the Bisharp is faster than the Rotom Wash, so that's kind of the life we're living. I can't really do any damage to any of these Pokemon with Sableye, so I'm just going to put the burn on Rotom just to get that chip damage going. But here I am going to switch out my Bisharp, and I figure he's not going to expect this, and I'm going to be able to go out into my Incineroar, which is going to give him another -1 attack, which is kind of relevant, especially if he does go into that Incineroar slot, because it's now going to make him neutral plus the burn, which helps us a little bit, though Rotom still hits us pretty well. We do get the Will-O-Wisp off, and we do hit, so that is going to burn the Rotom, just to, like I said, do that little bit of chip damage. And we are going to see the Max Knuckle, the nice predict. I don't know if he thought we were going to switch, but he knew he could definitely kill that slot, because I would have to go for the double protect. So he is going to go back up. So Incineroar essentially just mitigated a little bit of damage. He is going to Thunderbolt into the Sableye. The Sableye is going to go down, unfortunately. Sableye is not the most bulky Pokemon. So, yeah, Sableye goes down. Electrifier is going to take some damage from that burn, as is Rotom. I know his Rotom is Berry, because, once again, I gave him the spreads. But now I can go out into Moltres, since his max is done, though I also cannot max. And I'm kind of sad because of it, because I cannot outspeed his Koko for this whole rest of the game. So I have to play extremely, extremely smart. So I'm going to go for the Fiery Wrath, and I'm going to actually just go for the Fake Out onto the Rotom, I believe. Yeah. So I go to the Fake Out onto the Rotom, so I can get off this Fiery Wrath. I know I'm faster than both of his Pokemon, and he knows I'm weakness policy. So it's going to be kind of risky for him to try to go with something with the Electrifier, because it is burnt. So I figure I have a free hit here, and if I get the flinch, I can just flinch him to death until he has to bring out the Koko. And then I can go for some protect stuff, but I still don't think I can kill the Koko. I don't think I have a way to actually kill the Koko at this point. I would need to not only hit a Hurricane on it probably, but I would also have to hit a Flare Blitz. So it's not looking super great. So I'm going to get the Fake Off on the Rotom. Does actually pretty decent damage. Of course, Incineroar is pretty strong. We are going to get the Fiery Wrath. That's going to put Rotom into berry range, so he is going to eat his berry here and go back up past half health with the Citrus Berry, but he is going to flinch. Now, here he can just go Electro Web and win the game. So, I have kind of a choice to make. I need to go for the Protect first, and I need to hit the Snarl, so that way at least I can mitigate some of the damage that the Thundurus is going to go. And his Thundurus is Prankster. It's not the physical ones that a lot of people are using. It is Prankster with Thunder Wave and stuff like that. But he does go Thunder Wave, which I don't know if he knows, but it wouldn't have affected my Moltres. So I was kind of sad that I actually... Oh, sorry about that. Thought I closed that. My apologies. Oops. Closed the wrong thing that time. And yeah, there we go. So yeah, the Thunder Wave wouldn't have worked. My apologies for that. My Thunder Wave wouldn't have worked. But if I would have went Fiery Wrath, I could have taken out the Thundurus here. So unfortunate by my part. The Rotom is going to take some more burn damage. It's possible that the Rotom would have also went down, but it's hard to say on that one. So Now we have to go Fire Wrath. I'm hoping he goes for the Thunder Wave again. So I'm going to just go for the Fire Wrath and I believe switch into the Bisharp to allow the Bisharp to take the Hydro Pump because I don't want the Incineroar to die yet. Because I'm going to need him for Fake Out onto the Koko. And I know I can kill the Thundurus here and the Rotom's at least going to die to the burn. And I doubt he's going to go for Thunderbolt onto my Moltres. So I need to at least switch, and if he does miss the Thunderbolt, at least I have the Sucker Punch that I can use on the next turn. So Bisharp is going to come out, and he's going to actually go Electro Web, unfortunately. So he is going to hit us. He's going to set off our weakness policy, but he is going to lower our speed by 1, and he is going to kill the Bisharp. Now I know for sure that I'm going to kill both of these Pokemon because, of course, Moltres is +2. So it's going to be pretty bulky here. Not bulky. It's going to be pretty strong here. He does hit the Hydro Pump, and it doesn't do as much as I thought it would. So we go to exactly half health, and we are going to get off the Fire Wrath, going to kill both of these guys. So Moltres is doing his job, but not fast enough, really. So now he has the Electrify Koko, which is the lead we didn't want to see earlier, but we do have the Incineroar. And now it comes down to, can a Fake Out plus a Hurricane kill the Koko? Because that's my out here. Realistically, I don't really have another option or another choice. I'm going to need to hit this, really. And if I don't, yeah, your boy is going to struggle a little bit. So the Intimidate does come off, which is going to help against the Electrify. Of course, he is still burned. So he's not going to be able to do maximum damage. But we're going to have to go for this. And I don't expect the Protect here. I expect him just go for the Discharge because he is so far ahead that... excuse me, if I was to predict the Protect, then he could be in bad position. But guess what? He protects. He protects the Fake Out and the Hurricane into that slot. Unfortunately, not going to do anything here. Wild Charge is going to come out. He is faster because of the speed drop that I had. And Moltres is going to live on 4 life, but it's not really going to matter. I'm going to get the Berserk off. It's going to be +3 Hurricane. Yeah, doesn't matter. Does not matter there. So, yeah, Doxy's going to pick up game 1. Unfortunately, I cannot do anything to win here because he can just Discharge and Wild Charge. He doesn't even need to Wild Charge. He can use whatever he really wants, and he wins because I just can't beat him. I have nothing. I don't have enough damage output. So he is going to win game 1 here. Once again, Doxy's team is one of the scariest. So going into game 2 here, I'm expecting him to go with the Zapdos. I don't think he's going to go with the same lead because of the way I was able to mitigate the lead a little bit, though it's still possible for him to go with that lead. But I need to believe that I can go with the Moltres and the Grimmsnarl and be okay here. So my play is Moltres, Grimmsnarl, Incineroar, and Urshifu, and yeah, my Moltres is going to be the key here. I need him to get off weakness policy while me having the terrain up. I mean, not the terrain up. While having the light screen up or the reflect up, whatever I need. So that way the Moltres can still live and do a lot of damage back with max darkness. So here we go. We're going to load it up here. And that lead of Grimmsnarl and the Moltres is going to come out. Let's see what he leads. I don't know why this is, taking so long. There we go. So his lead is actually Electrify or Koko. Very unfortunate for us. We did not want to see this at all. So our play still here is to max the Moltres. We need to max the Moltres, right? We don't really have an option. Moltres is going to be our win con for this game. So what we need to do is we need to Nasty Plot, and we're going to need to Fake Out the Koko. Because if he attacks with the Koko with the Discharge here and predicts what we're going to do, we just lose. But we need to set this up because if we don't, we're not going to have enough damage to take out this Koko in endgame. So our play here is definitely to Nasty Plot and go with the Fake Out. Though we know he has the Protect, so that is an option. That's why I kind of looked at the Electivire, because the Electivire doesn't have Protect, because he has Assault Vest, I believe. So we could have faked out into that slot, and Coco does Protect. And yeah, so Coco protects. We go for the fake out into the Coco slot. If we would have went into the Electivire, I think we would have been in an okay position. But we're going to Nasty Plot here. We're going to get that Nasty Plot off. And he Wild Charges. And that's GG. There's no way I can come back. I can't beat the Coco. So I just give him the GGs. He wins because, yeah, my Urshifu and my Incineroar have no way of beating the Coco. So he can just sit here and press Discharge now, because Sucker Punch isn't going to do enough. Even if I set up screens, the Discharge plus any attack is going to kill my Urshifu. So yeah, it's just not worth playing it out. It's just going to take forever, and we're still going to lose. So, good games to Doxy, but I think Doxy is going to win the whole thing. His team is pretty insane, and, yeah, I wish I would have just went with Electric, because I thought about doing Electric. That's why I was able to help him with the team so well, but I was like, I don't want to do Electric. I'll do Rock, and then I was like, I don't want to do Rock. I'm going to do Dark. I should have just did Rock. I should have just did Electric. But, yeah, because Dark is real bad against Fairies, and there's too many Fairies on the board at during this tournament. But now we're in the losers bracket. We're going to be facing my friend Alex, who it's actually a mirror match almost. He has Tyranitar, which is, I think, the only difference between our team is that he doesn't have Sableye and he has Tyranitar. Tyranitar is pretty good against our team, so we'll see how that goes. We should be battling sometime either this week or early next week, so look for that video as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you guys rate, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys later.